Daniel Kachedjian Handalian, born in Uruguay, who is famous by the stage name Daniel K, is an amazing magician. In this video, we are going to watch one of his fascinating magic acts and discover the secret behind this magic. If you enjoy the video, make sure to show your support by liking it. For this magic act, Daniel first invites a volunteer from the audience onto the stage, and his name is Manuel. Daniel takes out a thumb cuff from his pocket, which is like a handcuff but for the thumbs. He puts this thumb cuff on Manuel and asks him to try to take his thumbs out without using any keys. He demonstrates to the audience that it is impossible to do so without opening the thumb cuff. Afterwards, Daniel invites the show's host, Allison, onto the stage. The magician then pulls out a deck of cards from his jacket pocket, and while shuffling it from his left hand to his right hand, asks Allison to say stop at any time. Allison says stop, and wherever she stops, Daniel hands her the card and tells her to show it to everyone. The card turns out to be the Six of Hearts. Without looking at the card, Daniel instructs Allison to place it back into the deck. Following that, Daniel places the deck back into its box and hands it to Allison. Then, he takes the thumb cuff from Manuel and tightly secures it around his own thumbs, instructing Manuel to do so. After that, Daniel closes the playing card box that is still in Allison's hands from the front. Now, the real magic begins. Daniel asks Manuel to cover his hands with a handkerchief. As soon as Manuel covers Daniel's hands with the handkerchief, Daniel manages to extend one hand outside, asking Manuel to lift the deck from Allison's hands. However, he then instructs Manuel to stop and places his hand back under the handkerchief. But wait a moment. Daniel had the thumb cuff on his thumbs, so how did his hand come out? To witness this, Daniel invites Manuel to remove the handkerchief and check. When Manuel removes the handkerchief from Daniel's hands, the thumb cuff is still securely in place on Daniel's thumbs, just as it was before. After that, Daniel once again asks Manuel to cover his hands with the handkerchief. He even extends one hand to help Manuel in placing the handkerchief. But hold on for a moment. We just checked, and Daniel had the thumb cuff on his thumbs. So how did his hand come out again? Not only that, this time, Daniel makes it clear that nobody should think he opened the cuff with keys. To prove it, he puts his left hand into his jacket pocket, takes out a key, and hands it to Manuel. Everyone is left astonished by this unexpected turn of events. So, how is Daniel able to free both of his hands despite having them securely bound? The magic doesn't end here. Now, Daniel claims that he, in the blink of an eye, can know the card Allison chose at the beginning. He places his hands over Allison's hands, and as he says, blinks his eyes. After this, Allison is asked to open the box placed on her hands. When Allison opens the box, instead of cards, there is a thumb cuff inside. Right after this revelation, Manuel removes the handkerchief from Daniel's hands. And what's this? Daniel's thumbs are revealed to be holding a card instead of thumb cuffs. When Daniel unveils this card, everyone is astonished because it's the same card Allison chose at the beginning, the Six of Hearts. But how? How is Daniel able to freely move his hands despite having thumb cuffs on? How does a deck of cards turn into thumb cuffs? And how does the chosen card magically appear in place of the thumb cuffs? Now, we are about to uncover the secret behind this magic. Before we dive into the secret behind this magical act, if you enjoyed Daniel K's amazing performance, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more magic reveals. Now, let's uncover the secret behind this magic. In this magic act, Daniel invites a volunteer, Manuel, from the audience to the stage and hands him a thumb cuff to inspect. However, it's actually a real thumb cuff with no secret modifications. Now, Manuel puts the thumb cuff on Daniel as per his instructions and then covers it with a handkerchief from the top. However, Daniel somehow manages to sneak one hand or the other out from under the handkerchief at different times. The thumb cuff is real, but there's a simple trick to effortlessly freeing oneself from it. Actually, here you can see that Daniel has already placed one side of the thumb cuff on one of his thumbs without having it checked by Manuel. He has deliberately loosely attached the thumb cuff on this side, allowing him to free his thumb whenever he wants. The question now arises about the thumb that Manuel has tightly cuffed with his own hands. If you look closely, Daniel has tightly pressed this thumb from the front by folding it. This action makes the middle of the thumb a bit wider, to which Manuel attaches the thumb cuff securely. And when Daniel later straightens his thumb under the handkerchief, there is enough space created in the thumb cuff for the thumb to be taken out. This way, Daniel repeatedly amazes everyone by taking his thumb out of the thumb cuff. Now, let's move on to the next part where, instead of the thumb cuff, a 6 of Hearts card chosen by Allison appears. It starts here when Daniel, while having Allison choose a card, asks her to stop at any point. In reality, Daniel uses the force selection technique here and guides Allison to choose the card he wants her to choose. If we observe the cards falling in slow motion, initially, some cards are falling one by one at the same speed. However, as soon as Allison says stop, some cards fall together in bulk. Also, if you pay close attention, the cards that were falling one by one initially fall straight, but when Allison says stop, some cards fall in bulk, and the back part of those cards comes down first, as if all the cards were released together from the back. If you don't understand, simply put, Daniel already has the card he wants to choose held under his thumb at that position. Initially, he releases the cards normally, and as soon as Allison says stop, Daniel lets go of all the cards below his thumb. So, the card Allison picks from there seems like her choice. But it's actually the same card that the magician wanted to choose. Allison shows this card to everyone except the magician, and then puts it back into the deck. Afterwards, Daniel places these cards inside the cover, putting the box in Allison's hands. But just before that, if we observe closely, Daniel cleverly acts like he's taking Manuel's thumb cuff, and during this, his hand with the deck goes backwards. With a sly move, Daniel switches the card box with another one in his jacket pocket. And now he places it in Allison's hand. From here, the box looks like a regular one with cards inside. However, in reality, there are no cards in the box, but a thumb cuff is placed, and the visible flap on top creates the illusion of cards. It's simply a flap, and its outer part is sticky. Now, Daniel seals the box in a way that utilizes this sticky part. When Daniel closes the box, this sticky flap sticks to this part, and when Allison opens the box at the end, it completely unfolds, revealing the hidden thumb cuff inside. It gives the impression that the cards inside the box have magically transformed into a thumb cuff. But the question remains, how does the magician switch the thumb cuff with the card in the thumb, and that too, the same card that Allison chose? In reality, as you now know, Daniel already knew that Allison would choose the 6 of Hearts card, so he had another 6 of Hearts card with 2 holes in it kept in his jacket pocket beforehand. When Daniel, during the act, pretends to take out keys and puts his left hand into his jacket pocket, he doesn't just grab keys. He also takes out the other 6 of Hearts card and holds it in his hand. If you observe Daniel handing over the keys to Manuel after taking them out, it's quite noticeable that he's holding something else along with the keys. Here, in front, Daniel has the keys, and at the back, he's holding the 6 of Hearts card from his jacket pocket, the one with 2 holes in it. Also, when he puts his hand into his jacket pocket to take out the keys, you can see that his fist is closed. Daniel takes the thumb cuff attached to his thumb and puts it into his pocket. Later, he retrieves the 6 of Hearts card from his pocket and wears it on his thumbs in place of the thumb cuff. And that's how Daniel amazes everyone with his incredible magic act. And now you too know the secret behind this magical feat. We work hard to bring you such videos, so please make sure to like the video. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and press the bell icon so that you receive notifications for all upcoming videos.